Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my podcast, Witty and Rise. I did a little video for you guys a few days ago, and saying that I passed my test. Yes, but not without tower moment after tower moment after tower moment, right? And so I wanted to take the time to explain what that means and what actually happened to me. Oh my gosh, during those times. So again, third time's a charm, and welcome to the podcast where Witty meets Rising, and then we're all in this together. And so, have you ever had one of those moments where you can feel like the universe plotting against you, and it's like they're rubbing their hands together and saying, "Oh, this is going to be good." That's what that was. It was one of those moments. And, it's a tower moment basically when everything starts happening all at once, and so let me explain that. There's crumbles, there's things falling apart, there's contracts that you thought that you were gonna get but didn't. There's friendships sometimes that all of a sudden just, like, go away or relationships. Those are tower moments when, um, the universe or what have you literally just lets everything fall to the ground, and so you can build it back up again. And so for me, I can see when those tower moments happen when I start stubbing my toe, I start getting paper cuts, um, everything literally drops from my hands for, like, no reason. Like, I'm carrying, like, a coffee mug or, like, my papers and whatever, thank goodness not my children, and then all of a sudden, it's like, "Shink," and it just falls out of my hand for absolutely no apparent reason. And so, my intuition was like, "Hey, girl, you need to slow down. You need to take a break." To which I responded, I'm like, I can't. I'm cramming for this PCC exam. I can't slow down." And I literally said this out loud. And I'm just like, let me just get through this exam. And you can do whatever you want to me within moderation, of course, but you can do anything you want. And oh my gosh, when I said that, I swear I thought like I heard a giggle and like a conniving laugh. And like, boy, did the universe deliver. So I did feel this before, and I felt those little, they weren't subtle for crying out loud. I'm not a subtle person, so my signs aren't subtle, right? And so I felt these signs before this big tower moment before I broke my wrist um, a few years ago. Let's just leave it at that. And so I recognize the signs immediately. And I have a big scar, and it's a daily reminder. And so, again, one thing after another, I stubbed my toe. I got paper cuts left and right. I dropped my pens, my pencils, my coffee cup, my patience, my everything. And then came the real hits where, again, I didn't get the contracts that I was banking on. Matt and I were actually, my husband and I were looking for a house, and I'm just like, this just doesn't feel right. And then all of a sudden, my arm right here went into this huge spasm. I did a ton of nerve damage on like right here on the backside of my arm because my armchair, that was hot pink at the time, it was like rubbing against it came to a point and it was rubbing against me. Anyways, so my body decided to go on strike, my mind decided to go on strike, and same thing with my soul, basically, and my spiritual capabilities. I was literally put in a timeout. I grabbed the salon paws that I didn't even know what they were at the time, but like they worked. I had I like collapsed on the couch pretty much like all day, every day basically. I had dinners on the couch all over again. It was just like absolutely nutso and super glamorous, let me tell you. I failed that exam, you guys, by 1 point. One single point. And because apparently I'm an overachiever in chaos, um, I took it again 2 weeks later, and I failed worse. Like, for real, I failed worse. And that was it. I was definitely in the full brunt of my tower moments. everything, like I said, spiritually went quiet. And it felt like literally someone shut off the lights and I was like all alone because a lot of my gifts I can channel, right? I can do all of those beautiful capabilities. So when I say someone turned off the lights, someone literally turned off the lights and put me in an energetic timeout. I lost my abilities, not only in like my spirituality, but in myself and everything else within me and around me. But like, here's the thing, right? I'm a coach. I'm now, named hire coach. Yay. But what did I do? I coached myself. Damn right I did. And so I sat down and I asked myself like the 3 to 5 whys, right? Why am I feeling this way? Well, because I failed my exam. Okay, great. Why did you fail it? Because I didn't understand the material enough. Well, why didn't I understand the material enough? Because clearly the exam writers were out to get me and wanted to crush my soul. Maybe. But I knew deep down that I felt like I wasn't good enough to achieve the goals I set for myself. Right? Ding, 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 ding. And once you land on that kind of why, you guys, like it's a clinker. It stings. And it is real and it is absolutely honest and super vulnerable. And once you say that out loud, like things start to loosen up. Things start to like release the tension, that guilt, that fear, the clenched jaw, the clenched throat, everything. And so what did I do again? I pulled out my spiritual toolkit. Anything that I've learned in my practice thus far, I pulled it out. I leaned on everything and I leaned on everything. It wasn't flashy. There weren't any lightning bolts. It was just like these little flickers of light kind of peering out through the rumble and saying that, hey, you're still there. You're still here. You're going to be okay. And then this is the clinker that like really hit me. I was coaching one of my clients and I asked her what her core values and beliefs were. And of course, she like turns it right around on me and she's like, I don't know, what are yours? I'm like, oh, and I froze. I like totally froze. Um, and then like actually like jaw dropping mouth silence, which if you know me, that doesn't very happen very often. And so I had to go back to Brene Brown's, core values and beliefs list. And there they were. I circled them in purple marker or pen. Yes, please. Honesty, communication, connection. And then something inside me just like exhaled. Like my soul literally took a deep breath and whispered like, "Oh, there she is." And it kind of reminded me of that line in Peter Pan, or actually it's Hook, when the little boy stretches, Peter Pan's face when he comes back to Neverland. And he's like looking for the lost boy that he used to recognize and know. And he finally squishes back his face, right? And he like exclaims wholeheartedly of like, "Oh, there you are, Peter." Oh my God. I quote that. I use that quote all the time. And that's exactly how I felt. I felt like I was finding myself again. And I also equate it to like putting on mascara for the first time after you've had a baby. You're kind of back to your normal self. And literally, it's that, oh, there you are moment. Um, or there you are, Peter from Hook. And so this is again another, great thing to share is that I did something that I'm not always really good at. And I think like a lot of us are not very good at this either because I can't be the only one. I leaned on my friends, I leaned on my family, I leaned on my husband and my little kiddo biddos. I asked for them to help me remember who I am because I've lost track of her. And let me tell you, when you ask your best friends and your husbands and your children and your family, like, help me remember who I am. What are my good characteristics? What are my positive moments or something like that? Hearing those items through their eyes, through their lens, through their heart is so inspiring and awe-inspiring that, like, of course, I could not hold my stuff together. I'm a crier, duh. And it helped crying through those moments helped put those pieces back together. I asked for extra hugs, extra kisses. Everyone, of course, obliged besides my second oldest, which is fair. She's like, I love you, but get off of me. Don't touch me. And so those tower moments just aren't brutal, they're magical. This one taught me how freaking resilient I am, tenacious, and of course, stubborn in the best possible way. I mean, I did get knocked down, but I did get up again. Chumbawamba. And yes, I did sing that out loud. And by the time I rescheduled that exam for, I think, the eighth time on October 13th, something in me was different, right? I wasn't clinging, I wasn't grasping, I wasn't desperate. I was grounded. And I walked into that test like, all right, universe, let's dance. And this time I passed. I passed, which is great. And so honestly, like passing wasn't even like the biggest win. The win was finding my voice through those towering moments. It was finding my voice through that rubble and reclaiming my faith in myself and remembering that asking for help isn't a weakness. It's courage dressed up as vulnerability. Right. And so if you are still here listening, I ask you, what is your tower moment? If you're in one, let it weeble wobble, let it fall. Just let it be. Ask the wise, right? Call your people. Dust off those spiritual tools, whether it's prayer, meditation, what have you, whatever floats your boat, and keep it keep it close to you. Don't give up. You are allowed to fall apart. You are allowed to ask for help, and you are also fully capable of rising. Cheers to the tower moments, you guys, and coming out even shinier and better on the other side.